Orlando?
We'll see. We'll keep taking it day to day. Yeah, Geno Stone.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see how they can get through the week in practice and make a decision from there.
How have they been? How were they yesterday and today this morning? How did they come through yesterday this morning?
Yesterday was player day off, but so far so good today.
Do you anticipate them practicing at all today?
We'll see. See how much they can do.
Philly's defense looks like it gets a lot of sacks from different places. I mean, linebackers, defensive backs got a couple as well. How challenging can that be? Not just playing that front, but just they can bring guys from different spots.
Yeah, I mean the front jumps out at you. They've invested in that front. They got big D tackles. They got really athletic edge guys. Bond comes up the second level. They like to pressure him as well. He's done a good job with some production. And so again, it's a good defense. They played well last week. They got a lot of production last week, and so it's a challenge for us.
They get some. I think they got a couple rookies there back in the secondary. What do you think of DeGene and the others?
Yeah, good players. I mean, Cooper's certainly come along these last couple games, and they got the rookie corner from Toledo who's done a nice job as well. So really good unit overall. They got a lot of talent over there. Coach Fangio does an excellent job. He's got a strong history in this league. Always makes it difficult for you. So they presented a challenging side of the ball over there.
When you say makes it difficult for you, in what way? Is it just multiple looks? Is it he's just so versatile, so multiple?
Yeah, he's got a lot of different things up his sleeve, that he can pull out, and always sound defensive football, and so it makes it difficult.
What stands out about Smith and Brown as a duo? Receivers.
Yeah, sorry, Smith. I was thinking defense. That they very athletic, very physical, good route runners, really strong at the catch point. Like I know Devontae's not the biggest guy in the world, but still plays really strong considering his size. And obviously A.J. Brown's done that for a long time. So ton of weapons. When you look at the quarterback, you look at the running backs, you look at the offensive linemen, big, athletic, really good production from the tight end room with Goddard, and really skilled at the receiver position. So talent all over the field for sure. And they've been a challenging opponent for a lot of teams.
Why do you think receivers would maybe fit Devontae's profile in terms of size, like the Tank Dells of the world, have been able to be successful despite not being maybe what usual NFL receivers?
I think, Devontae Smith is Devontae Smith. He's not anybody else. And I just remember the competitor coming out, one of the most competitive guys you'll ever watch. And take the measurables out of the equation, tremendous speed, played his physical, really strong at the catch point, finished off plays, was willing to do anything. Just really impressive evaluation as he came out, and he's obviously lived up to that in this league. And so, again, I hate to put him in a bucket with other people of his size and weight because he plays so different than what you would think initially when you saw those measurables. But tremendous player, got a lot of respect for him, always liked following his game.
When you see a player, when he was a player, Kellen Moore, and then he becomes a coach, offensive coordinator, do any tendencies as a player in your mind ever transfer over to a coordinator?
He was more under center from what I remember. That was my first evaluation as a coach. It was Kellen Moore coming out of Boise. First interview at the Combine in front of the whole room. Worst interview of all time on my end. Asked horrible questions, a little bit embarrassed. I don't think he knew any different because it might have been his first interview as well. But I just remember as the player, he's as impressive as it gets. I mean, thrown with anticipation and all the production and one of the all-time greats. In terms of the offense they run, correlation from Boise, maybe there's an element or two. But, again, I have a lot of respect for him. I've always followed his career. I think he's a tremendous football coach. He was a great high school player, great college player, played a long time in the league. And then it's not shocking that he immediately – I think he went from Dallas to Dallas player to coach. Am I incorrect on that? Jason Garrett's maybe the only other guy that did that in Miami, maybe a couple guys. But really impressive and really good coach.
What makes for a bad combine question?
Just like complimenting him all the time. I remember I didn't really know how to do it yet. That was my first one. Learned from it quickly. Never forgot it.
More understanding when we ask stupid questions?
No.
Here's one. I'll
Okay.
Going back to the 21 Denver game, I guess.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, if I remember the theme, and the theme before and after was, You gotta take what they give you gotta be patient. He doesn't give you anything, he sits there and he makes you make a mistake.
Yeah.
Is that-
Always had good defenses. Always. San Francisco, 2012. Played Chicago, 2018. Played Denver, 2021. Now, with Philly. So, again, we got a lot of respect for him. Never makes it easy.
Do you view this game as one that could potentially give you all a ton of momentum for the rest of the season if you're able to win this, get 3 in a row, and then get back to 500 against this kind of opponent?
I haven't phrased it like that. It's just important to find a win from week to week. And again, that's just our sole focus is doing everything we can, trying to make this plan come to life these next 3 days, to where our players believe in it. We're making the right adjustments and finding a way to get a win, and whatever happens after that happens.
Is there anything that mentally it would do for y'all to get back to 500 given the way y'all started?
To be honest with you, I'd have a hard time if you just asked me what's your record. We just got to win this game. Don't pay attention to that. We're almost at the halfway point of the season. Just find a way to win.
The West Coast offense, it's a broad term, but how many teams in today's NFL do you think use elements or concepts still from the West Coast offense, and is this one of them?
I'd have to go back to the roots of the West Coast offense. It feels like it's so far removed
Right.
from some of the stuff. I'm sure there's some guys that played in the 70s, 80s,
Right.
90s
Right.
that were really a part of that and would have a better, oh yeah, that's something we used to do a lot. So I just feel like I'm too far removed.
Yeah.
I have loosely used the term West Coast offense that originated here.
Right.
And don't always use it the right way myself, I'm saying. So let's go ask Joe Montana and some of those guys and Kenny. I guess Kenny was maybe, yeah, Kenny. So we'll get Ken in here, and he can sit next to me and answer some of these questions next time.
It's been a big year for mobile quarterbacks, including Joe, the big touchdown against the Giants. Any thought of using Burrow more as a runner or even a scrambler sometimes this season?
Scrambling's up to him. That's part of his deal. In terms of quarterback designed runs, that's not something we've leaned on. We've in the past that has come up. We've run quarterback draw. We've run a couple things, but that's just not really our identity to expose him that way. Now, usually, guys like him do a good job of getting down and avoiding the hit. I think that's maybe a big misnomer on some of the zone read stuff. Is quarterbacks typically when they're keeping it, they get green grass to keep to, and they have a great chance to protect themselves, and they're not just taking violent hits all the time. But just not really an element of the offense that we invest a lot in.
What do you remember about Jalen Hurts at the Senior Bowl? What do you remember about?
Talented, really committed to it. He was had the right mindset to play the position in this league, and you could tell it was really important to him and put in a lot of hard work.
Lou said he complimented Joseph Ossai in front of the team, defensive unit, for the way he played last week against Cleveland. What have you seen from Ossai this year, and what he's battled through over the last several years?
Yeah, I think another guy that this is very important to, and puts a lot of time and energy into trying to be the best he can be. You want to talk about playing relentless. I mean, he plays with energy on every single snap he's out there. And so, again, he's a guy we continue to rely on to create production. And so, again, I like being around him and I like his mindset.
Zach, how much have you kind of reevaluated ways to, you talked a lot about needing to find rhythm early in games offensively. How have you gone back and maybe reevaluated some of the ways you guys try to create that, question that, ways to move that forward after being sluggish the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, every opponent's going to be a little different depending on the plan, and so, again, it's everybody presents their challenges. Sometimes we come out and attack it better than others, more effectively than others, and obviously we're trying to put together a plan to where we can be efficient right out the gate and create some energy for our team.
Do you feel like that's been a struggle area for you guys to find consistent ways to get the rhythm going for yourself? Or?
Only the last 2 weeks, and you can point at, to me, both those games are different in terms of why the rhythm wasn't there. There's different reasons why on each drive, kind of that one play that set us back. So you can put them both in a together and say, yeah, we weren't efficient enough in those games. To me, it was internally different reasons why in both those games, and I look forward to putting better foot forward this week.
You feel like Fangio's system kind of elevates the talents of some of the guys within it? I mean, it seems to be real linebacker friendly, for example. Linebacker seems to thrive, in this schematic.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of experience in this league and utilizes guys in a good way. So yeah, you see a lot of good players on those defenses, and that's a talent. That's the players putting in the work. That's the coaches getting a lot out of them, and so wherever that praise deserves to be scattered, they do a good job.
Is there a certain threshold of how much Orlando and Geno practice this week that'll make you feel comfortable with them playing?
Nah, both veteran players, and trust them to be able to play on Sunday.
Have you heard back from the league yet? I know you asked about the Jamar.
Yeah, I'll keep all that to myself.
It's the White Bengal game. I imagine the joint will be jumping on Sunday. What are you
Yep.
hoping to see in terms of home field advantage?
Well, I expect the joint to be jumping, and I do. We rely so much on our fans. They really, the energy when our players get introduced and come out right out the gate, and never fails. Our fan base, and so again, we've got to do a better job of taking control of a game and giving them something to cheer for from start to finish. And so again, we're relying on them. It's always good when we can get a team at home and make it really hard with the cadence. And the thing I always, want to stress to the fans is as difficult as everything, it's when the play clock starts at 40 and the quarterback's trying to hear the call from the coordinator before he calls it in the huddle. It's not always just when you're breaking the huddle and getting to the line of the cadence. It's as much as soon as that 40-second clock starts, the crowd level, because you can waste 7 or 8 seconds in the huddle trying to hear the call, getting a repeated call, having to call it again because the tight end on the other side of the huddle can't hear it. And so I think you could almost make a highlight tape of all the false starts or delay of games or timeouts that have been used here by our rivals. And so that's what I'm looking forward to is seeing our crowd do that and our players respond the right way.
And it's okay if it makes things hard on Lou.
Yeah, that's Lou's problem. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks,